The King's Song, a werewolf romance story. Opening. Hello, my beautiful dreamers. This is Luna, and welcome back to Luna's Romance Audiobooks, where a simple song can change destiny and a voice can capture a king's heart. Tonight, I have a story that will absolutely enchant you, a tale of music and magic, of an alpha king searching for something he didn't know he'd lost, and an omega girl whose voice holds power beyond imagination. Imagine being invisible your entire life. Just another servant, another omega, another face in the crowd. Then imagine singing when you think no one's listening, pouring your heart into a melody, only to discover the most powerful alpha in the realm has been captivated by your voice. Now imagine that same king will stop at nothing to find you, to hear you sing again, to claim the voice and the woman who stole his heart. So settle in, my dreamers. This is a story about being heard when you've been silent, about being seen when you've been invisible, about discovering that sometimes your greatest gift is the one you've been hiding. This is the King's Song. Prologue. The voice in the garden. I wasn't supposed to be in the royal gardens. Servants like me, omega girls who scrubbed floors and changed linens, we had our own areas, our own spaces, our own invisible existence in the palace. But it was my 20th birthday, and I wanted one moment. Just one. To feel like I belonged somewhere beautiful. The gardens were empty at midnight. Everyone was at the Alpha King's birthday celebration. A massive ball with hundreds of guests, music, dancing, everything I'd never be invited to. I found a secluded corner, surrounded by night-blooming jasmine, and let myself breathe. Then, because I was alone, because it was my birthday too, because I needed to remember I existed, I sang. It was an old song, one my mother used to sing before she died, about the moon goddess and her children, about wolves finding their mates, about love conquering all. I sang softly at first, then louder, letting the music pour out of me, filling the garden with sound. I didn't know my voice was special, didn't know it carried power, magic, something rare that happened only once in a generation. I just knew singing made me feel alive. I was hitting the final notes when I heard it, a sharp intake of breath behind me. I spun around, my heart stopping. A man stood in the shadows, tall, broad-shouldered, dressed in formal black that screamed wealth and power. His face was partially hidden, but I could see his eyes, storm gray and absolutely transfixed. "Don't stop," he said, his voice rough. "Please, keep singing." I shouldn't be here. I'm sorry, I'll leave." "No, stay. Sing." He moved closer and moonlight caught his face. I nearly collapsed. Alpha King Caspian Nightfall, the most powerful wolf in all the territories. The king whose birthday ball I'd been listening to from across the palace. "Your Majesty," I dropped into a curtsy, keeping my eyes down. "Forgive me, I didn't mean to intrude. You have a gift." He was right in front of me now. "Your voice. I've never heard anything like it." "Thank you, sire. Look at me." The alpha command was gentle, but absolute. I looked up. Our eyes met, and something slammed into place. A recognition, a pull, an awareness that made my wolf howl inside me. No, this couldn't be happening. From the way his eyes flashed gold, from the way his entire body went rigid, I knew he felt it too. Mate. The Alpha King was my fated mate, and I was just an Omega servant. Invisible, beneath notice. Absolutely impossible for someone like him. "What's your name?" he asked, his voice strained. "Briar, Your Majesty." "Briar." He said it like a prayer. "Sing for me again. Please." I should have run. Should have left before this got more complicated. But looking into his eyes, feeling the bond humming between us, I found myself opening my mouth. I sang the final verse, about true mates finding each other under the moon, about bonds that couldn't be broken, about love that conquered all obstacles. He listened with an intensity that made me shiver. When I finished, he stepped closer. "Briar, I need you to understand something." Voices carried across the garden, people approaching. "The king!" Where did he go? He was just here. Panic flooded through me. If they found me here, alone with the king, in the gardens where I didn't belong. Go, Caspian said softly, before they see you. But Briar, his hand caught mine for just a moment. I will find you. I will hear you sing again. That's a promise. I fled into the shadows, my heart hammering. Behind me, I heard him greeting his guests. Heard them asking about the beautiful music they'd heard. Just the wind, he said smoothly, playing tricks. But I knew the truth. The Alpha King had heard me sing, had felt our mate bond. And from the determination in his voice, he meant what he'd said. He would find me. The question was, what would happen when he did? Chapter 1. The Search. I tried to forget that night. Went back to my duties as a servant, scrubbing floors, changing linens, being invisible like I'd always been. But the Alpha King hadn't forgotten. The servants are being questioned, my friend Lily whispered as we worked. All of them. The king wants to know who was in the gardens during his birthday ball. My blood ran cold. Why? No one knows. He's obsessed, interviewing everyone, asking strange questions. She leaned closer. Do you think someone tried to assassinate him? Maybe. I kept my head down, scrubbing harder. But over the next week I watched the search intensify. The king questioned every Omega in the palace, every servant, every guard who'd been on duty that night. He was looking for me. I stayed hidden, kept to the servants' quarters, avoided areas where he might be. On the 8th day, he took drastic measures. All palace servants will attend a gathering in the main hall, the head housekeeper announced. No exceptions. The king himself will address us. Lily grabbed my arm. Have you ever seen the king up close? Once, from a distance. The lie came easily. They say he's looking for someone, a woman. Maybe he's finally choosing a Luna Queen. My stomach churned. Was that what this was? He was going to choose me as his mate in front of everyone? The gathering was mandatory. I had no choice but to attend. The main hall was packed with servants, hundreds of us, all curious, all nervous. Then the king entered. Caspian nightfall commanded attention just by existing. He was tall, easily 6'5", with dark hair, storm-gray eyes, and a presence that made everyone want to submit. He scanned the crowd, clearly searching for someone. For me. I kept my head down, hiding behind taller servants. Thank you all for coming, he said, his voice carrying across the hall. I know there are rumors about why I've called this gathering. Let me address them directly. Silence fell. During my birthday celebration, I heard something remarkable. A voice singing in the gardens. The most beautiful sound I've ever experienced. His eyes swept the crowd. I'm looking for the woman who owns that voice. If she's here, if she's listening, I ask her to make herself known. Murmurs rippled through the servants. Is he serious? He's looking for someone because of singing? Must have been incredible. I'm prepared to offer a reward, Caspian continued, to the woman who sang in my gardens. Come forward, and I promise you'll be treated with the utmost respect. With honor, with everything you deserve. I stayed hidden, my heart hammering. If you're afraid, if you think you'll be punished, you won't be. I give you my word as Alpha King. His voice gentled. I just want to hear you sing again. To know who you are. That's all I ask. No one stepped forward. His frustration was visible. Very well. Then I'll find another way. All servants with musical ability, please demonstrate. Sing something. Anything. Let me hear your voices. One by one, servants sang. Some well, some poorly, all nervously. None of them were me. I watched as disappointment flickered across his face with each voice. Then his eyes found mine across the crowded hall. Recognition flared. He knew. You. He pointed directly at me. Come forward. Every eye turned to stare. I had no choice. I moved through the crowd, my legs shaking. "What's your name?" he asked, though he already knew. "Briar, Your Majesty." "Briar, will you sing for me?" I don't think. Please." The word held weight, need, desperation. Just one song. I looked into his eyes and saw the truth. He'd been searching for me for over a week. Hadn't slept, hadn't rested. Needed to hear my voice again like he needed air. The mate bond was doing this to him, pulling him toward me even though we'd barely met. I opened my mouth and sang, the same song from the garden, about the moon goddess and her children, about wolves and mates and love. My voice filled the hall, clear and strong, and carrying power I didn't understand. The effect was immediate. Servants stopped whispering. Guards straightened. Even the king, especially the king, looked stunned. When I finished, silence reigned. Then Caspian smiled, brilliant, relieved, absolutely devastating. "It's you." I knew it was you. He descended from the dais, stopping right in front of me. "Briar, you have a gift. A rare gift. Your voice carries magic." "Magic? You're a siren, one of the blessed wolves touched by the moon goddess herself." His eyes held mine. "Your voice has power. Can soothe rage, inspire loyalty, even heal wounds. It's extraordinary." "I'm just a servant. You're so much more than that." He turned to address the assembled servants. "Briar will no longer work as a servant. From this moment, she's under my personal protection. She'll be given quarters befitting her station, treated with respect." Murmurs erupted, jealous whispers, speculation. "This isn't negotiable." His voice carried alpha command. "You're too valuable to waste on scrubbing floors. Your gift needs to be cultivated, protected. But we'll discuss this privately. For now, my assistant will show you to your new quarters." He gestured to a woman waiting nearby. "Go with Mira. She'll help you settle in." I had no choice. I went. But as I left, I caught his eyes one more time. The hunger in them was unmistakable. He'd found me, found my voice, and he had absolutely no intention of letting me go. Chapter 2. The New Life. My new quarters were obscene. Not quite royal chambers, but far beyond anything a servant should have. A bedroom with an actual bed. A sitting room with comfortable furniture. A bathroom with a tub. "The king wants you comfortable," Mira explained. "You'll take your meals in the private dining room, attend lessons on etiquette, dancing, music. Everything a lady of the court should know." "I'm not a lady." "You are now. The king has declared it." Her smile was kind. "I know this is overwhelming, but His Majesty doesn't make these decisions lightly." After she left, I collapsed on the bed, trying to process. One song, one moment in the garden, and my entire life had changed. I should have been grateful, excited, thrilled. Instead, I felt trapped, because I knew the truth. This wasn't about my voice. Not really. It was about the mate bond, about Caspian unable to let me go now that he'd found me, but he couldn't claim me publicly. I was Omega. He was the Alpha King. The court would never accept it, so he'd found an excuse, made me valuable, given me status. All so he could keep me close. That evening a servant brought a summons. The king requested my presence at dinner, private dinner, just the two of us. I dressed in one of the gowns that had been delivered to my room, simple but elegant, far finer than anything I'd ever owned. Caspian was waiting in a small dining room I hadn't known existed, intimate, candlelit, clearly designed for private meetings. "Briar, you came." He stood as I entered. "You commanded it, Your Majesty. Caspian. When we're alone, call me Caspian." He pulled out a chair for me. "Please, sit. I won't bite. You're an alpha. Biting is kind of your thing." His laugh was surprised, genuine. "Fair point," but I promised to restrain myself. We sat. Servants brought food. far fancier than anything I'd ever eaten. "You don't have to do this," I said quietly. "Pretend my voice is special. Give me status I don't deserve. I know what this is really about. Do you? The mate bond. You felt it too, in the garden. That's why you're doing all this, so you can keep me close without the court questioning why." He set down his fork. "You're right, and you're wrong." "Which is it?" "Both." He leaned back. "Yes, I felt the mate bond. Yes, it's driving me insane being near you and not being able to claim you. But Briar, your voice is special. Genuinely, remarkably special. You are a siren. That's not an excuse. It's truth." "How do you know?" "Because I've heard sirens before. My grandmother was one. Her voice could calm riots, inspire armies, heal the dying." His eyes held mine. "Your voice has that same power. Maybe more." "I'm just singing." "You're channeling the moon goddess's will, creating magic with sound." He stood, moving to the window. "When I heard you in the garden, it wasn't just beautiful, it was transformative. For the first time in years, I felt peace. Peace? I'm the Alpha King, Briar. I carry the weight of an entire kingdom, make decisions that affect thousands of lives, deal with constant threats, constant pressure, constant demands." His voice roughened. "I haven't felt peace in years. Then I heard you sing, and everything stopped. The weight lifted, the pressure eased. For 3 minutes, I could just breathe." The raw honesty in his voice made my chest tight. "So yes," he continued, "I'm keeping you close because of the mate bond, but also because the kingdom needs you. I need you." He turned to face me. "Not as a mate, not yet. Just as what you are, a siren whose voice can heal. Can you understand that?" I wanted to be angry, wanted to accuse him of using me. But the exhaustion in his eyes was real. The need was genuine. "What do you want from me?" I asked. "Sing for me. When the weight gets too heavy, when I can't think straight, when I need peace, sing. That's all I ask. And the mate bond? We'll deal with it. Slowly. I won't claim you until you're ready. Won't force anything. But I also won't pretend it doesn't exist." His eyes blazed gold. "You're my mate, Briar. That's not something I can ignore." "Even though I'm Omega? Even though the court will never accept it? The court will accept what I tell them to accept. I'm the Alpha King." His voice carried absolute authority. "If I choose an Omega as my Luna Queen, that's my decision, not theirs. You make it sound simple. It is simple. You're my mate. End of discussion." He moved back to the table. "But I understand you need time. Need to adjust to this new life. So we'll take it slow." "Define slow." "You live here. In the palace. Under my protection. You sing when I need you. We get to know each other. And when you are ready, only when you are ready, we discuss completing the bond." It should have felt controlling, manipulative. Instead, it felt like a choice. A real one. "Okay," I said. "Okay? I'll sing for you, help you find peace. But Caspian," I met his eyes, "I'm not promising anything beyond that. I'm not promising to be your Luna." "I know, and I'm not asking for promises." His smile was soft. "Just give me a chance. Let me prove I'm worth choosing." Over the next few weeks, I settled into my new life. Music lessons with the palace's best teachers. Etiquette training so I could navigate court politics. Dancing lessons for the balls I'd now be expected to attend. And every evening, I sang for Caspian. Sometimes in his study while he worked. Sometimes in the gardens where we'd met. Sometimes in the small music room he'd had prepared just for me. He never pushed. Never demanded more than I was willing to give. He just listened. Let my voice wash over him. Found the peace he so desperately needed. "You're getting stronger," he said one night after I'd sung. "Stronger how?" "Your power. The magic in your voice. It's growing. His eyes were warm. You're growing. Is that good? It's extraordinary. You're extraordinary, Briar. The way he looked at me, like I was precious, like I mattered, made my heart race. I was falling for him. Slowly. Inevitably. Completely. And that terrified me more than anything. Chapter 3. The Threat. The attack came during a state dinner. I'd been at the palace for 6 weeks. Was comfortable now, confident in my new role. Caspian had insisted I attend the dinner, my first major court event. I wore silver, my hair styled elegantly, trying to look like I belonged. The other nobles were less welcoming. "An omega at the high table," one duchess whispered loudly. "How progressive." "She's a siren," another countered. "The king values her gift. I'm sure that's all he values." The innuendo was clear. I kept my head high, refusing to let them see how much the words stung. Caspian, seated at the head table, caught my eye across the room, raised his glass slightly, a silent show of support. I smiled back, feeling braver. Then the doors burst open. A man stumbled in, bleeding, clearly wounded. "Rogues! At the northern border! They've breached the defenses!" Chaos erupted. Nobles screaming, guards mobilizing. Caspian on his feet immediately, commanding his forces. "Seal the palace! Protect the civilians! Get everyone to the safe rooms!" Hands grabbed me, Mira pulling me toward safety. "Come on, we need to get you hidden." But I pulled away. "Wait, I can help." "Briar, you're not a fighter." "No, but I'm a siren. My voice has power." I turned to where Caspian was organizing defenses. "Let me try." He saw me approaching, his eyes widening. "Briar, you need to get to safety." "Let me help. Let me sing." "It's too dangerous. You said my voice can inspire loyalty, calm rage. Let me try to calm the rogues." I grabbed his hand. "Trust me." He stared at me for a long moment. Then, "Everyone, clear the hall. Briar's going to sing." The nobles fled to the safe rooms. Guards took defensive positions. I stood in the center of the hall and opened my mouth. I sang a song of peace, of the moon goddess's love for all her children, of wolves finding their way home. My voice poured through the palace, out the windows, across the grounds. The effect was immediate. The rogues, savage, mindless, attacking anything, began to slow, to listen, to respond. Some stopped fighting entirely. Others lowered their weapons. My voice wrapped around them, soothing their rage, reminding them of who they'd been before whatever had driven them to madness. It wasn't perfect. Some rogues were too far gone, but enough responded that Caspian's guards could subdue them without massive casualties. When I finally stopped singing, exhausted, Caspian was there to catch me. "You did it. You actually did it." His voice was awed. "You saved lives, Briar. Stopped a massacre." Will they be okay?" "The healers will help the ones you reached, the ones your voice brought back." His arms tightened. "You're incredible." The nobles emerged from the safe rooms, staring at me with new respect. "Did you see that?" Her voice stopped them. "The siren saved us." For the first time since arriving at court, I felt accepted. That night, Caspian came to my quarters. "You shouldn't be here," I said. "If someone sees, I don't care." He pulled me into his arms. "You could have been killed today. When I saw you standing there, facing those rogues with nothing but your voice, I had to help." "I know, and I'm so proud of you, so grateful, so—" He stopped, his eyes blazing gold. "I'm also terrified, because tonight proved something I'd been trying to deny." "What?" "I can't lose you. The thought of anything happening to you, of you being in danger, it's unbearable." His hand cupped my face. "I love you, Briar. Not just as my mate. Not just because of the bond, but because of who you are. Your courage, your kindness, your gift. Caspian, I know it's too soon. I know you need time. But I need you to know. You're not just my siren. You're not just my mate. You're my everything. I should have pulled away. Should have protected my heart. Instead, I kissed him. He responded immediately, his hands in my hair, his mouth claiming mine with desperate need. The mate bond blazed between us, golden and perfect, and absolutely certain. When we parted, both breathing hard, his eyes were molten. "I love you, too," I whispered. "I've been trying not to. Trying to keep distance, but I can't anymore." "Then don't. Choose me. Choose this. Choose us." "What about the court? The nobles who think I'm not good enough?" "Let them think what they want. You proved yourself tonight. Showed everyone that you're not just an Omega. You're a siren, a healer, a warrior in your own right." His smile was fierce. "And you're mine. My mate. My future Luna Queen. You're really choosing me? Despite everything?" "I'm choosing you because of everything. Because you're brave and strong and absolutely perfect." He kissed me again, softer. "Marry me, Briar. Be my Luna. Let me spend the rest of my life proving you made the right choice." Tears spilled over. Yes, I'll marry you." His joy was palpable. He pulled me close, and we held each other as the moon rose outside my window. I'd started as an invisible servant, a girl who sang in gardens when she thought no one was listening. Now I was the Alpha King's mate, his siren, his future queen. All because one night he'd heard me sing, and my voice had stolen his heart. Chapter 4. The Opposition. The engagement announcement caused an uproar. An Omega Luna Queen? Unacceptable. She's bewitched him with her voice. It's unnatural. The bloodline will be weakened. The council demanded an audience. The nobles submitted formal protests. Even some of Caspian's own advisors suggested he reconsider. "They'll come around," Caspian assured me. "Once they see you as Luna, once you prove yourself." "I proved myself during the rogue attack. It wasn't enough." "Then we'll prove it again. And again. Until they have no choice but to accept you." His jaw was set. "I won't back down, Briar. Not on this. Not on us." But the opposition intensified. Someone started rumors that I was using my siren voice to control Caspian, that the mate bond was fake, that I was just a servant trying to climb above my station. "Ignore them," Mira advised. "They're threatened by you, by what you represent." "What do I represent?" "Change, hope, the possibility that Omegas can be more than servants and breeders." Her smile was warm. "You're inspiring people, Briar. That scares the old guard." The breaking point came at a formal dinner. Lady Cordelia, a duchess who'd been angling for her daughter to become Luna, stood and addressed Caspian directly. "Your Majesty, I must protest this engagement, for the good of the kingdom." "Your protest is noted and dismissed," Caspian said coldly. "But sire, she's not qualified. She has no training, no breeding, no—" "She stopped a rogue attack with nothing but her voice. She's a siren blessed by the moon goddess herself. She's my fated mate." His voice carried alpha command. "What more qualification does she need?" "She's Omega," Cordelia's composure cracked. "The Luna Queen must be strong, must be what? An alpha? A beta? Since when does designation determine worth?" He stood, his presence filling the room. "I'm the Alpha King. My word is law. And I say Briar is more than qualified. More than worthy. More than any of you deserve." Silence fell. "If anyone else has objections," he continued, his voice dangerous, "speak now. But know that by questioning my choice of mate, you're questioning my judgment as king, and I don't tolerate that well." No one spoke, but the hatred in Cordelia's eyes was unmistakable. That night, I couldn't sleep. I wandered the palace halls, ending up in the music room Caspian had made for me. I sat at the piano, began to sing softly, working through my fears, my doubts, my worries about whether I was truly fit to be Luna. "You always sound most beautiful when you think no one's listening." I turned to find Caspian in the doorway. I didn't hear you come in. I didn't want to interrupt. He moved to sit beside me. What's wrong? Everything. Nothing. I don't know. I touched the piano keys. Maybe Cordelia's right. Maybe I'm not qualified to be Luna Queen. She's not right. She's threatened. What if I fail? What if I make mistakes? What if I'm not strong enough for this? Then you'll learn. You'll grow. You'll become the Luna you're meant to be. His hand covered mine. Briar, no one is born knowing how to be Luna. It's learned, earned. You'll do it the same way I learned to be king. By trying, failing, and trying again. You make it sound simple. It is simple. You're my mate. You're extraordinary. You'll be an incredible Luna because you care about people. Because you use your gifts to help, not control. Because you're you. He turned me to face him. I believe in you. The question is, do you believe in yourself? I wanted to be brave. I'm scared, I admitted. So am I. Being king terrifies me every single day, but I do it anyway, because the alternative, not trying, is worse. He kissed my forehead. Be scared, be uncertain, be imperfect, just don't give up. What if they never accept me? Then we'll make them, together. His eyes blazed gold. You're my mate, Briar, my queen, and I won't let anyone make you feel less than what you are. His conviction gave me strength. Okay, I said. Then let's prove them wrong. Chapter 5. The Luna's Song. The coronation was set for the full moon, 3 months away. I spent every day preparing, learning pack law, studying history, meeting with advisors who'd help me navigate court politics. And every evening I sang. Sometimes for Caspian, giving him peace. Sometimes for the palace staff, boosting morale. Sometimes for myself, remembering why I'd been given this gift. Your voice is getting stronger, Caspian said one night. Even I can feel the power growing. Is that normal? For sirens, yes. The more you use your gift, the more it develops. He smiled. My grandmother could sing once and heal fatal wounds. You're on your way to that level. The thought was overwhelming. Humbling. 2 weeks before the coronation, disaster struck. A plague swept through the lower territories. Hundreds infected. Dozens dying. The palace healers were overwhelmed. We need to do something, I told Caspian. Send help. We've sent every healer we have, every medicine. It's not enough. His expression was grim. The plague is magical in nature, created by dark magic. Our healers can't counter it. But maybe I can. He stared at me. What? My voice. If it can heal wounds, maybe it can heal sickness too. Briar, you've never tried anything that advanced. Then I'll try now. Take me to the infected territories. Let me sing for them. It's too dangerous. People are dying, Caspian. I have to try. We argued. He didn't want to risk me. I couldn't stand by and do nothing. Finally, he agreed. With conditions. We traveled with heavy guard. I'd wear protective gear. And if it didn't work, we'd leave immediately. The infected territory was heartbreaking. Wolves lying in makeshift hospitals. Families weeping. Children suffering. I don't know if this will work, I told Caspian. Then we try something else. But Briar, you don't have to do this. Yes, I do. I'm going to be Luna. These are my people. I took a breath. I have to at least try. I stood in the center of the largest hospital and began to sing. Not a song of peace this time. A song of healing. Of the moon goddess's love flowing through me, through my voice, into every wolf who heard it. Golden light poured from me, visible, tangible, wrapping around the infected wolves. The effect was miraculous. Color returned to pale faces. Breathing eased. Fever broke. One by one, the infected wolves began to recover. I sang for 3 hours, until my voice gave out, until I could barely stand. But it worked. It actually worked. When I finally collapsed, Caspian caught me. You did it. You healed them. All of them. Not all. Some were too far gone. You saved hundreds, maybe thousands. His voice was thick with emotion. My incredible, powerful, absolutely remarkable mate. News of the healing spread fast. The siren Luna who'd cured the plague, who'd saved lives with nothing but her voice. The nobles who'd opposed my coronation went silent. The commoners who'd doubted me began to celebrate. Even Cordelia, bitter and angry, couldn't deny what I'd accomplished. The night before my coronation, Caspian took me back to the garden where we'd met. I have something for you, he said. He pulled out a crown, silver and moonstone, elegant and perfect. The Luna's crown, worn by every queen before you, and now yours. It's beautiful. Not as beautiful as you. He set it on my head carefully. Tomorrow we make this official. But tonight I want you to know, crown or no crown, you're already my queen. Already everything I need. I love you, I whispered. I love you too. My siren, my song, my everything. He kissed me under the moon in the garden where our story began, and I knew, no matter what challenges came, no matter what opposition we faced, we'd face it together. The servant girl and the Alpha King, the siren and her mate. Together, we'd change the kingdom, one song at a time. Chapter 6. The Coronation. The day of my coronation dawned bright and clear. I stood in my chambers wearing silver and white, the Luna's crown on my head. You look perfect, Mira said, tears in her eyes, like you were born to be queen. I was born to scrub floors. You were born to be extraordinary. The scrubbing was just temporary. She hugged me tight. I'm so proud of you. The ceremony was held in the great hall. Hundreds of witnesses, nobles and commoners alike, all gathered to see the Omega become Luna Queen. Caspian stood at the altar, looking devastating in formal black, his eyes finding mine the moment I entered. The love in his gaze gave me courage. I walked down the aisle, my head high, refusing to let doubt show. The high priestess performed the ceremony, ancient words binding me to the pack, to the kingdom, to Caspian. Do you, Briar, accept the responsibility of Luna Queen? Do you swear to protect the pack, serve the kingdom, and stand beside your Alpha in all things? I do. And do you, Caspian, accept Briar as your Luna? Do you pledge to honor her, support her, and rule beside her as equals? I do. His voice was absolute. Then by the power of the moon goddess, I declare you Alpha King and a Luna Queen. May your reign be long and prosperous. The crowd erupted in cheers. Caspian pulled me into his arms and kissed me, deep, claiming in front of everyone. When we parted, he whispered, my queen, my mate, my love. Forever, I replied. The celebration lasted all night. I danced with Caspian, with nobles, with commoners who'd come to celebrate their new Luna. You've won them over, Caspian said during a quiet moment. Even Cordelia bowed to you. Grudgingly. Still, it's progress. He spun me around. How does it feel? Being Luna Queen? Terrifying, overwhelming, perfect. I smiled. I never thought I'd be here. I knew from the moment I heard you sing. You were always meant for this. His eyes were warm. For me. Sing for me? Someone called from the crowd. Let us hear the Luna's voice. Others joined in, calling for a song. I looked at Caspian, who nodded encouragingly. I stood, the crowd falling silent. And I sang. Not the song from the garden. Not a song of healing or peace. A new song. About love conquering all obstacles. About voices being heard. About invisible girls becoming queens. About the moon goddess's plan for all of us. My voice poured through the hall, golden and powerful, touching every wolf present. When I finished, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Caspian pulled me back into his arms. Perfect. You're perfect. We're perfect, I corrected. Together. Together, he agreed. That night, alone, finally, he marked me. His bite sent pleasure through me, the mate bond completing fully. I marked him in return, claiming my alpha as thoroughly as he'd claimed me. I love you, he said against my skin. My siren, my song, my queen. I love you too, my king, my mate, my everything. We made love until dawn, the bond blazing bright between us. And when I woke in his arms, the Luna's crown on my bedside table, I felt complete. I'd started as a servant, invisible, unheard, unremarkable. One song had changed everything. One voice had captured a king's heart. And now I was Luna Queen. Not because of my designation, not because I was perfect, but because I was brave enough to sing when I thought no one was listening. And the right person had heard. Epilogue, 5 years later. The nursery was filled with music. I sang softly, rocking our daughter, Elena, named after Caspian's mother, while our twin sons played nearby. Mama, sing the Luna song, one demanded. Please, the other added. I smiled, launching into the song I'd written for their births. About the moon goddess blessing us with 3 perfect pups. About love and family, and ruling with kindness. Caspian appeared in the doorway, watching with that expression that still made my heart race. You're home early, I said. Wanted to hear bedtime songs. He moved to kiss Elena's forehead, then each boy's. How's my family? Perfect, loud, chaotic. Exactly how I like it. He took Elena from my arms, cradling her with practiced ease. The council meeting went well. Your Omega rights legislation passed. Really? Unanimously. Even Cordelia voted for it. His smile was proud. You're changing the kingdom, my love. One law at a time. Over 5 years as Luna, I'd implemented reforms, education programs for Omegas, legal protections against abuse, requirements that all designations be treated equally under pack law. It was slow work, but it mattered. Sing us both to sleep, Caspian said, settling into the rocking chair with Elena. The boys climbed into their beds, already yawning. I sang the lullaby my mother used to sing, about the moon goddess watching over her children, about wolves safe in their dens, about love that conquered all. One by one, my family fell asleep. Caspian and I tucked in the children, then retreated to our own chambers. Thank you, he said, pulling me close. For what? For singing that night in the garden, for being brave enough to use your gift, for choosing me despite every reason not to. His lips found mine, for being the most incredible Luna mate and mother I could have imagined. Thank you for hearing me, for seeing me when I was invisible, for proving that sometimes the most unlikely love stories are the best ones. The best, he agreed. We stood on our balcony, looking out over the kingdom we ruled together, from servant to siren, from invisible to indispensable, from unheard to unforgettable, all because I'd sung one song, and the Alpha King had heard it, had let my voice steal his heart, and had given me his in return. The end of one story, the beginning of forever. Closing. And there you have it, my beautiful dreamers. The story of Briar and Caspian. Proof that your voice matters, that being heard can change everything, and that sometimes one song is all it takes to capture a king's heart. Did this story make you want to sing? Did you believe in the power of being truly heard? Then show me some love. Hit that like button, drop a comment telling me your favorite moment, and subscribe to Luna's Romance audiobooks so you never miss another tale of music and magic and destined love. I want to know, would you have sung in the garden? Would you have been brave enough to use your gift? Would you have believed you could be Luna Queen? Tell me in the comments. And speaking of believing in yourself, our next story is going to absolutely wreck you. It's called The Rogue Alpha's Redemption, and it follows a she-wolf sold to a rogue alpha to pay her family's debts, only to discover he's not the monster everyone warned her about. He's damaged, dangerous, and desperately trying to protect what's left of his shattered pack. And when she starts to see the man beneath the monster, she'll have to decide if love can truly redeem even the darkest alpha. Until next time, my dreamers, may your voices be heard, your songs change worlds, and your gifts lead you to the love you were always meant to find. This is Luna, signing off. Sweet dreams, beautiful souls.